I've been managing this website for my mom. It's her recipe website. It started out as Mexican recipes and now it's even more than that. But over the years, it sort of kind of got pushed to the side. She was really focused on YouTube, and I had migrated it once and updated all the branding and styles, but you can see that it's broken now. There's a bunch of terrible ads on it from just some old AdSense code, and it's not mobile optimized. It doesn't have schema markdown. It's just fallen into disarray. And so I took it upon myself to challenge and see what I could do with AI to improve this. And I've been using Claude to actually create a new version. It's just a prototype right now, but it's looking really promising. And so I want to show you kind of what I did. So check this out. I went to Claude. Let me go back to this beginning of this conversation. And I basically said what I just told you, which is like, I've got this website and I want to make it better. It's got all these problems. And I installed the Chrome plugin so that Claude could actually access it. And it connected directly to my Google Chrome. It went to the website, it started poking around, checked the source code, and figured out not only what I said that were problems that we wanted to fix, but it also came up with a bunch of additional things that it could improve. And then it asked me what some of the goals were. And I answered a lot of that. And so it said, okay, based on what you want to do, oops, here's a couple different options. And it recommended using Astro and Vercel. Perfectly honest with you, I don't even know what Astro fully is yet, but I know what Vercel is. I've used that. And it compared it to Webflow, which I had started migrating to already, and then Next.js and WordPress, which is what it's on today. And then gave me like a monetization plan to try to improve revenue production. So all these things, I'm just trying to like test out Claude. And it gave me a whole plan. It gave me like a 2-month plan. It says, okay, this is what you're going to do first, and it's going to help me. So I'm like, okay, great. We're going to run a flat file with markdown files that are going to describe the different recipes. And it even gave me some like cost estimations, which I thought was really cool. So I go through and I said, hey, this is amazing. Let's give it a shot. Let's make sure SSL is covered in HTTPS, which it said it would be. And it said, okay, cool, let's do a prototype. And I just, following along, basically. I'm just letting Claude do its thing. And it came up with a few different variations, which I downloaded and opened in Safari. And let me show you what they look like. I think, was this the first? No, this wasn't the first one. Here, nope, that's not even the first one. This was the first one. It didn't have a navigation, but it had like prep time, cook time, total time, servings, and it had pulled in a fish taco recipe directly from the website, copied over the ingredients, laid it all out, gave it a rating function. I mean, this doesn't work, but it's here. And then a print recipe button, and then links to like other different recipes. I was like, this is brilliant. But it obviously needs a little bit more polish. And so we went back and forth and ultimately ended up with a layout that looks a little bit like this. You can see it's still broken because I was still iterating. So Claude would improve something that I said needed to be improved, and then something else would get broken along the way, and the styles are dated, and it's not great there, but it's just, you can iterate with it, right? And we got to this point where it's pulling in YouTube videos, has a place for that, and it also has other recipes that you might be interested in. You can see it put in some just stock imagery here. Obviously, this isn't guacamole, so it's just for placement only now. But I was like, okay, we're at a good place. Let's give it a shot. Let's pull in some real content and let's generate the website locally, which was what it wanted to do. So if I scroll down here, you can see it basically said, okay, let's get started, and it produced all the files that needed to be produced. So here we go. I think in the middle of it, I think, where did it go? Oh yeah, token usage, system warning. So it actually, I was running out of Claude usage as I was doing this. And I took a break overnight and came back to it the next day. But I said, okay, let's create the production ready Astro project structure. And it started to do that. But you can see here, there was like all these failures. Claude was trying to interact with my system directly and it wouldn't work. And so I told it that, like, this is just a conversation. I'm literally working with, a partner here. And it says, okay, cool. I delivered everything, but I told it, it didn't actually work. How do I get this running? I'm on Mac. And it says, okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to download the file archive that I provide to you. You're going to unzip it, and then you're going to go in there and you're going to do npm install. And so I go over to my console here, and that's exactly what I do. I downloaded it. I went to the downloads folder after unzipping it. I went inside. And I've got some familiarity with these things because I used to work as a web developer once upon a time, a decade ago or more. And it came back with these vulnerabilities and some things which I thought were maybe concerning. And so I just copy and paste that back into Claude, and it says, okay, cool. Not a problem. That's normal. Won't affect your site. And it says, now do this, start the server, and then go to your localhost port 4321 in your browser. I mean, like, I'm just following along. This is like back in the day in the early 2000s when you would follow a tutorial for a video game to get through levels or learn how to do things, find hidden packages. Like, it's the ultimate customized cheat. Like, you're literally just following along. And so I did that, and this is what it looked like. It came up with, a nav bar, and I had given it the logo, and we fixed a few things and changed some styles. But, you know, it's thoroughly impressive what it's able to do. So this is all hosted locally right now. And we made some edits and some fixes to the categories. Like I said, it's not perfect every time, and it's a lot of cycling through and, iteration. And I even downloaded VS Code for the first time, and I was in the wrong file trying to copy code into there that Claude had given me, and I couldn't find it. So I took a screenshot and I sent it back to Claude and said, "You're actually in the wrong file." And like, this thing's impressive that it can detect that. And I said, okay, let's make a new, let's bring in another recipe, right? Because my ultimate goal here is to do the migration as programmatically and automated as possible. And so I said, let's do this. Let me give you a URL. You create a new markdown file. We'll get it all set up in this new format. And I gave it the Huevos Rancheros recipe, and that's the one you're seeing here. And it's got this image. And if you're wondering how I got the image, I'll show you. I went over to ChatGPT and I said, hey, I need a Midjourney prompt. I've been using Midjourney to do image generation. I need these specs. Here's an example of what I'm looking for. Create the prompt for me. So I'm literally asking the LLM to do the work of how to prompt another LLM. And it gave me this prompt, and I copied that into Midjourney. Midjourney kicked back a few image options. I took one of those, which was too big. It wasn't the 200 kilobytes or less that I was looking for. And ChatGPT gave me some solutions for how to do that, but ultimately I just dumped it into ChatGPT and said, hey, just optimize this for me. This is the size, this is the file size. And it came back, and I downloaded the image, went back over to Claude, and I put it in as it told me, save the image here with this name. And I mean, you can see here, I was like validating what size so that it fit all of the website parameters correctly. And boom, as soon as I saved the markdown file and the image to the right folders, it was right here, showed up under featured recipes. I could click into it. It used the same image for the thumbnail and for the hero image. And it's got all the content. It brought it all over. Now, you've definitely got to edit this and fact check, because I don't trust it to be right every time. So you've at least got to read through and be the editor. But I'm really impressed with what it's been able to do. And I'm going to continue to iterate on this. And so the next step is we're going to go and try to create a orchestration of basically AI agents. What I want to do is get a Google Sheet that has several hundred, if not all of the recipes with the URLs from the old website. And I want to be able to feed that into the workflow and then have Claude generate the markdown file and have ChatGPT generate the prompt for Midjourney, send it to Midjourney, get an image back, and then upload that image to the right place as well, and see if we can't just like migrate the whole site in minutes. So come along.